Welcome back to Gold Derby. I'm Christopher Rosen. I'm so pleased to be joined by Diego Calva, the breakout star of Babylon, a newly minted Golden Globe Award nominee. Just so many great acclaimed reviews already so far for your performance and notices. I'm so excited to talk to you. I wanted to start. I read an interview you did with GQ, and Damien Chazelle had a comment in there, and he said when he first saw your picture, he was like, "Oh, that's the face of a dreamer." And those eyes have real poetry in them. And then you and Damien had like a bunch of Zoom conversations thereafter. So what were those early conversations like about what did you guys talk about basically first up?
Well, I think Damien at first, he wanted to make sure and to figure out if I was able to act, you know, first of all. So I think we did so many video self tapes and video castings because of that, because he was like realizing if I was able to follow directions, you know, or to change the range of a scene. So it was more technical in the beginning. In those early days, it was, I think, more like realizing if he was investing in something that makes it was to make sense, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm blown away by your performance because I think it's so natural the whole time. It feels like very honest and authentic. So I guess like when you got on set those first days, like you said, like, I mean, like it's got to be a little art imitating life because you're with like Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie and all these amazing, massive movie stars. But I mean, like, how did you approach like those first days shooting, I guess?
You know what's changed everything? I had so many time with Demian before that I felt ready. I mean, you can't be ready for this kind of experience, but at least we had a lot of rehearsing. We rehearsed a lot. I worked with a dialect coach. I worked with an acting coach, with a clown. I rehearsed a lot with Demian. We did so many different like readings and so many different levels. You know, we actually shot the whole movie in his backyard during 10 days. Only me, him, and Olivia, his wife. So we did all of these like exercise and all these like little like adventures before the main attraction, you know.
Yeah.
So I was ready in a way, like character wise I was ready, but there's no way to be ready for being like to step into a big Hollywood set for the first time and act with Brad Pitt with the first time. But Demian did that in a very special way because my first day as an actor, Diego Calva, in a Hollywood set, it was also Manuel first day in a Hollywood set. So all those faces, like the surprise faces or like the scary faces, they are like real in a way. But this is just Damien Chazelle's mind making everything a little like metafictional, you know?
Yeah, I love so those scenes. I mean, that's like that first day on set. It's such an incredible sequence. There's so many moving parts. Your character has to go run all over the place. Basically, I can like it's watching it. The scale and scope is unbelievable. I mean, what was that like? I guess like yeah, like how was that? How did the watch like you know? I mean, how did like how long did that take to even shoot and put together and choreograph? Because there's so many seemingly different moves and stuff that you have to make in those kind of scenes.
For the battle scene sequence, all this like first day on set, uh, at least the parts I mean, because remember it's like you're telling like the story of Nelly first day on set and Manny and Jack. It's like three different stories like crossed. Uh, but my part with Brad in that scene, I think we shot that scene for at least 1 week,
Hmm.
and everything was real. It was hard not to immerse yourself when you are like literally seeing like the 800 people you're seeing like in the battle seal. They are actual people, you know, no CGI. Like all the explosions, all the horses, everything was real. It was there. So it was easy in a way. Not easy is not the word I would like to use, but it was like so helpful and so important as an actor uh, to be able to see and touch everything, you know, like not working on a green screen or something like that, just like literally being there, living like the wild west with with all these people. It was incredible. But I remember, for example, that it wasn't also like the idea like everything was real. It was also like the movie magic. Like you have this crew filming a crew that is actually filming another crew filming a fake movie, you know. And you have like Spike Jones pretending to be a director, and you have Brad Pitt walking there. But Demian wanted like the special light for that little moment when with the kiss of Brad Pitt and the other actors and the butterfly and until till Spike said we got it. We tried that for like 3 days in a row, but there was always like a problem. The butterfly wrangler or the sun the explosion. Damian was looking for like that kind of precise movie magic moments, like when you plan everything and you put everything there, but in the end you are also like waiting for something unexpected to happen, something like that.
It's amazing. Watching it, I think you could tell that too, because you're just like, again, it's so immersive, and I think it would be easy probably to, like you're saying, like cheat, you CGI or whatever, but not doing that really makes a difference for the audience as well, because
Yeah.
you can tell like this massive spectacle. You mentioned there before, like talking about like the character. I guess, what did you guys discuss about Manny, and like how did you think about him, like as a person? Like what were your kind of discussions about him like throughout, and how did that change, I guess, throughout production too?
Well, for example, so like Damian wrote like Manny's life from some parts, right? But like before the movie, he let me like create or write my own like Manny's biography, and that helps me as an actor. That's maybe not that important like in the movie, but it was important for me because I develop and I create who Manny was. And we talked a lot, for example, of Al Pacino's performance during The Godfather, and how we are going to put like and point like so many different moments in Manny's like scenes or in Manny's story during the script to create those break moments, when Manny starts to lose his soul, he starts to be corrupt, he starts to lie himself. There's a couple of moments that it's not that I like it, but it's like very important moments for my character. For example, when Manny lies, when he said, where are you from? Mexico? No, Madrid, Spain. This is the first time you are going to hear Manny lying about his nationality. And it's supposed to be a successful guy. So he was even more honest being nothing, in a way. And then you start hearing him trying to change Nelly. He was at the beginning like just supporting Nelly, like I love you the way you are. But then he started he's tried to commit these attempts to change Nelly and to create like a Nelly Laroy that doesn't exist. So we talked more like our first conversations were more like when in the story we are going to put these changes to be subtle and looks like organic, but we really need to put like the break moments, because if not, you don't have like the whole arc. And when you are watching The Godfather, it's incredible what Pacino did with that. You can literally feel how the character is changing, the way he dresses, the way he put his hair, like everything. There's some little moments when you start notice like, okay, this is a different guy.
Absolutely. It's so amazing. When I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, like there are shots where you look like Pacino in The Godfather. Like when you hear his sleep back, it's like uncanny.
Yeah.
I was like, man, if they ever do a Godfather, I don't want them to ever do this. But I was like, if they ever do a Godfather reboot, I was like, but Diego Calva should do it because he looks just like Pacino.
Please.
But you mentioned it too. I love that scene, like that little subtle thing where he says he's from Madrid. I also found like him always saying Manny instead of Manuel, I thought was like kind of in that as well. Like when they're putting his name up on the door. And in that sequence, you have a couple of really, I found the scene with where Manny has to tell Sydney to put on the blackface makeup. It's such a very upsetting scene and very powerful. And I think your performance there is so incredible. I guess, can you talk about like how you guys discussed that sequence? And you have the next scene too with I'm blanking on her name, Nelly's
Lily with the lady face Shuri.
Yes, you have those scenes like right next to, like near each other, and they're both like him selling out these other people who obviously he maybe shouldn't. I just found that really compelling too. So how'd you talk about those scenes?
Well, for example, with the corking scene with Sydney, Jovan, Damian, and me, we had these conversations, but we realized that we were talking about information that we from the 2022 people have, right? No, so the Manny and Sydney, they will have another kind of conversation. Mm-hmm. Of course, there's in the air the sense of like, I was betraying my friend, and I'm asking for something horrible, but not with all this like politically incorrect kind of situation at all, because this is too evolved for Manny and Sydney at the moment. So we talked more about the idea of, so once again, to the idea of lying. So Manny is someone that in the beginning of the movie, he's solving situations all the time. He's the smartest guy in the room, basically half of the movie. And then at the same time, he's becoming like successful and finally making his dreams come true in a way. He started losing all his qualities. So Manny is not solving anything anymore. He's lying to solve it. So he's solving not with ideas, he's solving with lying now. So he's literally like turning himself into something different. That's why when he's talking with Sydney, he's not even trying to say like, I know what's going on, I'm sorry. He's trying to put like, this is nothing, it's just for the lighting. But the only thing that matters for him at that moment is like money and Nelly Leroy's being successful again, blah blah blah. And then with Lily, I love that scene because in that scene, Demian is so good directing like all this in crescendo, lot of camera movement, like kind of massive, extravagant wowners and scenes. But he's so good with the quiet scenes, like it's a song. He see the movie like a song, not all the time you can go in crescendo. There should be like quiet moments when you can like rest a little, like the whole movie for a moment. And Manny has all those moments basically. He's always the most in his eyes and during his story is the moments when you can actually rest.
Mm-hmm.
Like after the movie, after the party, he goes and lights a cigarette, and that's a resting moment for the audience and him. And there's this kind of situation it repeats during the movie. And to be able to portray it and to say a lot with their faces, or with Manny's face, is another thing that Demian and we worked a lot. With Pacino's eyes when he's thinking. If you think like in early Pacino's characters, he's always like a smart character in problems. So he's always thinking with his eyes. You can tell there's something going on in his head. And then we work, for example, with Chaplin's eyes, because Chaplin has like this innocence all the time. There's like, yeah, innocence. Innocence is like the word. Chaplin could be like with his mustache, and he's an adult, but when you see like Modern Times or The Kid, he has that innocence, that glow in his eyes. So we work with both ways, And in the scene with Lily, when I have to fire Lady Faye, the feeling is like it's a new kid firing someone that is from there. Like I was cleaning elephant shit and you were already like performing with Jack Conrad, and this is me with no. So it shouldn't be me the one who's fired you. It's not like a love situation, because some people think that Manny feels good firing Lady Faye because Lady Faye and Nelly, they have like a romance. Not at all. It's like the hardest moment in the movie for Manny. One of those hardest moments.
I think that comes through on your face too in that scene, and the way it's shot is beautiful, and like the way he lights it is so great as well. It's just an incredible. It is an incredible sequence. I don't want to not to spoil it, but you have another. I mean, you mentioned that like you're conveying so much with your eyes and like the emotions, and I find, like I said, I think this performance is incredible. The end of the movie, I won't spoil it, but there's obviously like Manny ends up watching something, and like there's a great. It's just you have to convey so many different emotions in like a very short amount of time, basically, and not say anything. And I've seen the movie twice. It sticks the landing both times. How many times did you guys have to do that? And like, what was that like for you? Again, you don't have to spoil like the details, but I find that scene incredible. And I think it is a large part because of your performance.
I think that when we shot this scene, it was like the last couple of weeks of the movie, of the shooting. So we were all loaded, like with the Babylon energy and this not nostalgic. Like you can, at the moment, you could breathe it in the air, like this is going to an ending. So we worked a lot with like Manny's history, like character wise. But also we did like this. It's not a trick, it's acting too. But when you have like someone like Demian that you can trust, that you really admire, and that it's been with you like from day one, since day one, like always by your side. I open like my secrets to Demian. Like we play with like my actual pains in that scene. So there's like moments when it's like Manuel watching his life again, and Nelly's life and all that. And there's another moments when Demian was literally like, of course you're not going to see Demian, but it's like my face in a close-up, and Demian is literally like sitting by my side, holding my hand, and he's talking about all the secrets and all like the moments in my life that I told him. So he's literally like telling my story, like Diego's story to me. And I'm reacting, and that scene. I mean, I love that scene, but the direction was impossible. The direction was the audience have to rewatch the movie in your eyes, and that's like the most beautiful, but the hardest, and kind of like an acting direction. That's like so weird. So we went to that, like to actual feelings, like okay, what makes Diego feel this, or what makes Diego feel that. And only if you have a director that you can trust, you can go literally like open that part of you and let someone to see you in if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. And like we have to wrap up here, but last thing I was like, I mean, obviously, like I said, I think this performance is incredible. You're so good. Damien is an incredible director. You obviously had such a great connection with him. How do you like for your now off of this, like what are you hoping to like do? Like, I mean, not to talk about what's next because the movie hasn't even officially come out yet, but I'm like, what are you like now that you've had this experience, which is such a high level experience, like what are you hoping to do now going forward with your career and stuff? And like what kind of performance are you going to try to like look for, I guess, or movies, I guess?
Well, first, now I think that I can dream bigger and bigger, right? So I just want to keep working with people that I admire. Like I admire Damien since day one, and with people that really want to tell a story. You know, I think what makes Babylon special is that Damien was writing the story and the plot and the characters and just breathing and eating and sleeping and dreaming about Babylon for years. So it was a need. He's an artist, and I just want to keep acting and working with artists like Margot, like Damien, people that puts me in a very, it's challenging every time. It's hard to be at their level. So I just want to keep putting myself in this kind of experience. Like if the next movie I have to learn how to speak Chinese and how to ride 3 horses at once, I don't know, like that kind of like physical situations and like mental challenges. I love it. But the main part, I guess, is to keep telling stories that someone really needs and wants to tell.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that comes through in this, and definitely in your performance. And if they, like I said, if they ever do a Godfather reboot, you know, I think they should give you a call. But Diego Calva, an incredible performance in Babylon. Thank you so much for doing this.
No, thank you. This was so much fun. Gracias.